Okay, so in this lecture, we're going to be looking at how to unset or remove class object attributes. Let's dive right into it. I'll start with my PHP tags. I'll declare my class. And within our class, let's make our attributes private. Always have good practice now when you're declaring attributes within a class. Always make your attributes private because it prevents, it's lower, you have a lower risk of your PHP scripts from getting hacked, and we don't want that. Again, we'll use first name, and I won't set the value, so I'll just use the private access modifier. Last name. Okay, and what I'll do next, let's use some functions. So I'll do public function, and let's say unset attributes. Okay, so what I'll go ahead and do is write the code for it. So the new PHP keyword we're going to be looking at is unset. And the unset is a built-in PHP function that unsets or removes an object attribute if it's within the class. Again, the built-in PHP function is called unset, to unset or remove an attribute from the object. What I'll do as well, I'll use the unset method, and I'll use the this operator, and we want to remove the first name attribute and the second one, last name. Okay, and I'll just put a display statement called echo, and I'll just write attributes have been removed. Okay, so I'll do that. Now for, let's say, let's display these attributes, so I'll just put public function display attributes. Okay, so I'll just use our echo statement to display them. So I'll put first name again, and let's use our this keyword because we're referencing an object attributes. Okay, I'll do that. I'll put a break. Okay, and I'll just do the same thing for last name as well. Okay, so we have that done. So what we can do next, let me see now. So if we actually create an object, let's call it person. And you know what we forgot to do? Let's actually set our first name with the default values. So I'll put Bobby, or let's use Mark, and for last name, Johnson. Okay, so we have our default values set up for our first name and last name. And now let's go ahead and display our attribute values. Let's call the method attribute or display attributes. So we use our person object followed by our arrow specifier, and we use the method display attributes. And let's see what we have here. We save our work, go to my browser, and let's see here. Refresh it, and look what we have. Mark for first name, and Johnson for our last name. Now let's go back in here. Now what we'll do here, let me add some space or some breaks. And after that, if we choose to remove or unset these attributes, let's call unset, or you see unset attributes. Take that function and call that there. Now what should happen is that, again, first of all, it should display our current default attribute values, and it should skip one line, and on line 30 it should unset and remove those attributes, which is first name and last name. So it should give us some kind of error. PHP should give us some kind of error. So we go back here, let's click refresh. Okay, so attributes have been removed. So congratulations. So it didn't give us an error because we actually implemented the and we used the unset, or let me see, we've used the our method to set it right here. Again, I'll actually show you guys once we do that. And let's say if we try to call our attributes again, let's use our display attributes again, and we know they don't exist, but let's see if they do. I'll do that, and now it should give us an error that they don't exist anymore. So I'll refresh the screen, and look what we have. It displays our first name, last name. Our attributes have been removed in the first name here, and then it gives us, look, notice, undefined property, class name, person, first name. So again, undefined property is the same thing as an undefined attribute, and it does that for the first name and the last name, which we see here. So congratulations, guys. Again, to unset or remove attributes, you just use the built-in PHP function called unset, or the PHP method unset, and pass in the attribute here. And it can be any attributes, but right now we're dealing with class objects, so these attributes belong to the class object. So congratulations, guys.